First of all, if you just allow me to ask us a question before the break.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my English is not...
no problem. My English is not that good either.
What have I done? So I deserve to be Muslim. And very simply, I think, because you are not a man of evil. Because Allah, like you know, He doesn't look to our shape or our wallets, our houses, our cars, but straight to our hearts. And that's the house of our intentions. And I think everybody with good intentions, I think it's very easy for you to embrace Islam. Because many celebrities, many politicals for big countries, they are trying to make a picture of themselves that they are good people, but they are exactly the opposite. My question is about the Norwegian society, because myself, I'm a Norwegian citizen, and since you come from England, and Norway look up to England,
why?
Everybody knows it. The problem, I will speak for these youth people, is here, which you make them smile, and we thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
They don't understand why in the government, some people, and especially in the media, they hate Islam so much. They don't understand because these people are born here, and they don't just understand why they hate Islam so much. That's my question.
Yeah. See, brother, I think anyone who came to my talks yesterday will probably understand, because I explained that. I talked about how every society is trying to get you to conform to a particular ideal. They call it socialization. So every society has a type of idea that they want everyone to conform to. Yeah? So if you break away from that idea, yeah, you feel threatened. But you know, I think the other point being is that maybe we are, if we say that we are being too kind. Because there are certainly politicians and people who are just happy to rely upon people's ignorance and fear. That's it. And actually, sometimes, very sadly, a society will try to create a state of fear in order to continue to control people. If you want to watch a very, very beneficial program that talks about this, you should watch a program called The Power of Nightmares. The Power of Nightmares. The documentary, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube, yeah, was produced, I think, by Channel 4 or the BBC, and it was exactly about this. How the media and the governments are using Islam in order, fear of Islam, in order to control people, in order to control them. Because one of the ways you control people is through fear. So it's a very, very worthwhile program to watch that. I want to go back to the first thing that you mentioned, brother, right? Again, I'm sure this is what most people understood, but what I really meant, you see, as I said about paradise, is that you can't, whatever you do, you can't deserve paradise. However much good you do, you don't deserve it, because the good of paradise is way beyond whatever you could earn with your deeds. And that's how I feel about being a Muslim. I feel about Islam, that the peace and the tranquility and the joy and the happiness and the guidance that Allah has given me in my life through being a Muslim is way beyond any good things I could have done in my life to deserve that. You see? So the goodness that Islam has produced, the benefit that Islam has produced in my life for me personally is so much more than whatever good deeds I could have done. But I'm sure the brother is right that, if people inshallah have goodness in their heart, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide them to Islam. But I have to say, I used to think, when I first started practicing Islam, I actually used to think, maybe Allah is just, making me Muslim, and then I will leave Islam, so He's going to punish me even more because of the bad things that I did. Because when I started thinking about all the things that I had done, right, I just thought, how can I deserve this mercy? How can I deserve the mercy of Allah. And I swear it was only, the brother was mentioning, it was only I used to open up the Quran and I used to read Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. It was seeing that again and again. I just kept on thinking, you know, reminding myself, Allah is the most compassionate and Allah is the most merciful. So again, you know, alhamdulillah that Allah guided us to Islam, brothers and sisters. And you know, there's another thing I wanted to mention. And I didn't get to mention this because it was Salah time. But it is something I really think is so important. You know, brothers and sisters, I don't think that most of you can ever appreciate the reality of how lucky you are to be Muslim. Right? And I will tell you why. I'll tell you the difference between me and you. Those of you who are born into Islam, it may be that you will do haram things. It may be that you will fornicate and you will, and by the way, please don't let shaitan make an excuse in your head and saying, oh, Abdur-Raheem, he smoked marijuana. Oh, Abdur-Raheem, he had girlfriends and he was okay in the end, right? You don't know you're going to die and you don't know that you may go further from Islam, right? So don't let shaitan do that to you. But back to my point. Even if you do all of those things and you do worse, every one of you knows where to go back to. Don't you? You know, okay, I do this, I do that, but I know that I can go back to Islam. You know that there's a place to go back to. You know there's the Quran, you know there's the guidance of Allah. How about the person, think about this. How about a person who doesn't even know whether there is guidance or not? He's so confused or she's so confused. They don't even know. You can't possibly really imagine how deep is that darkness. You know, imagine this whole school, this whole university is in pitch black and you find yourself in here and you're wandering around and you don't even know if there's a door that leads out. You don't even know that. Do you think that's the same as the person who knows that somewhere there's a door and if I get that door I can step out? What if you don't even think there's a door? What if you don't even know there's a door? How is the despair of this one just compared to the confusion of the other? So this is the darkness of someone who doesn't even know that Allah has sent guidance. He doesn't even know there's an answer. So alhamdulillah, the blessing really of Islam for that one is so really, subhanAllah, when you find it, you appreciate it. Because you really find that, alhamdulillah, there is that way that you have found that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided us.